podcast you're about to listen to is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of horror movie fans who chose to listen to the Huge Horror Movie Podcast.
With your host, Killian Gore.
I see the bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight, well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go around tonight, well, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Supposed to be a werewolf at the end there. Hello. Hi. Just move the mic again. Welcome to the Huge Horror Movie Podcast. I am Killian Gore, and today's show will be An American Werewolf in London, which is very exciting for you, isn't it? Just close that page. I've done the song now. I had the chords up on the screen there, because I didn't previously know that. And, oh, right, and the movie in the BG is, of course, American Werewolf in London. I wouldn't have gone with Paris. That would have been ridiculous. Although, it's got its all right bits, hasn't it? But, yeah, it's the great scene there. Do you have any soup? No. Well, do you have any coffee, then? No. Do you have any hot chocolate? With spirits and beers. If it's something hot you want, you can have tea. Then you have tea? No. But I can make some. If you like. Yeah, and so I have a cup of tea here. Sorry to slurp. It was more to create the sound effect, so you knew I was drinking it. See, I do it without the slurp. You can't really tell what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. What am I doing? Am I doing a pod? Yeah, we're doing a podcast, right? So, yeah, American Werewolf. Let's kick off straight away this time, yeah? Let's not mess around here. Let's do some questions off the bat. Hey? Straight away, straight into it. Which highly acclaimed composer wrote the music score to An American Werewolf in London? Number 2. What advice from the locals do David and Jack neglect to follow, ultimately leading to Jack's death and David's attack? And 3. Which American rock band performed the song Bad Moon Rising, which you just hear me do a dreadful rendition of, featured on the film's soundtrack? And 4. In which part of the UK were the opening exterior scenes of the Yorkshire Moors filmed? Was it England, Ireland, Scotland, or Wales? That question's more for like non-English UK people. Because I think we all know, don't we, in England, in UK, I keep saying England. What is it with the UK, though, yeah? That the Welsh are allowed to yak on about being Welsh, and the Scottish are cool about going on about being Scottish. The Irish, okay with just saying, I'm from Ireland. You know, that's it. You see them on TV shows, and they ask where you're from, and they go, I'm from Wales. And you just think, well, it's a big place, though, isn't it? I don't say, I'm from England. Anyway. Number 5. Which song plays on the soundtrack when David transforms into a werewolf for the first time? There's the opening 5 questions. Should I get the guitar and do a jingle for Janine? Do you think that's a good idea? No, she doesn't like that idea. She says wait till you do the proper jingle sometime. It's scheduled for 2023, isn't it, Janine? Yes, 2023. So we're booked into a proper studio, and we'll be recording a jingle. Just lying. I made that up. I made the old bloody thing up, didn't I? So, on today's show, we're going to welcome right now our studio guest. You may think, did we get a werewolf in here? No, we didn't get a werewolf. Did we get a pub landlord or something, or a half pint of Guinness? or did we get a London bus, or a doctor, or I'm running out of ideas. Anyway, no, we brought the Moors in. Please welcome the Moors. Hello, Moors. Ooh. So you've got some birds tweeting in you, and some sort of insect embedded into your moorland. So there's the Moors. This one is, again, off YouTube. Audio experiences on the moor, relaxation, sleep, mindfulness, study, sounds of nature, and wind. Woo, windy poops. And yeah, I get this one. Yeah, that is quite more relaxing, isn't it? I could nod off to that. I like rain sound effects. I sometimes put a rain sound effect on, although they can be quite bad. Anyway, thank you, Moors. You can go now. I'll slowly usher you out of the studio this time. There go the Moors. The actual Moors from an American Werewolf in London. Right, I just got a bit of... I just had some chilli. It's repeating on me. Needed a sup of that tea from the slaughtered lamb. The slaughtered lamb, right. So, yeah, as you probably already know, the slaughtered lamb the exterior isn't an actual pub. I bet these are some of the answers to the questions. But, yeah, it was just some place in... I've forgotten it. It'll probably be in one of my books. But for slaughtered lamb, I should put location. There is an actual slaughtered lamb in where's that? What's this? The Slaughtered Lamb pub, a good hearty bar and live. Doesn't where's the live? Where's? Can't find the rest of that sentence. Live werewolves, hopefully. Where's this? Slaughtered Lamb. I didn't know about this. Got a big pop-up. I can't... Right, here we go. It's in... no address. Because I'm pretty sure there was... contact. It's just email contacts. 0207. That London. View on Google Maps. Oh, thank God for that. So it is in London. I didn't know there was a slaughter. I know. Like I said, I think there's one in New York City, isn't there? Let's have a look. Going into Street View. There it is. The Slaughtered Lamb. I don't know. I don't think it's the actual Slaughtered Lamb interior place. Because there was one that they used for the interiors, and just a building in Wales for the exteriors. A lot of clicking. I'm keep trying to get out of this Slaughtered Lamb. Sorry. What they do? Oh, should we look at the menu? Char grilled beef burger and fries. They've not gone with kind of like Jason Goes to Hell, have they? And had like, werewolf burger and David's fingers. Just because David was on the screen, that's all I could think of. Buttermilk fried chicken, Korean hot sauce, sesame. It just says sesame at the end. Sesame what? Sesame. Buttermilk fried chicken, Korean hot sauce, sesame. Tempura, cauliflower, Korean hot sauce, sesame. They just throw the word sesame at the end of those two meals. Butternut squash and Stilton pie. Oh, that sounds all right, doesn't it? Is it vegetarian? Oh, no. Yeah, no. Bacon wrapped turkey breast. It's just because the next one of them there was black bean burger and fries. Anyway, waffling on way too much. We was actually going to see where the location is, and it says Clerkenwell, London. No, not that one. I want the actual one. Oh, the actual Slaughtered Lamb is the Black Swan, Martha's Green, and that's the interior, which I believe has changed quite considerably. Honestly, why would you do that? Preserve it, make a thing of it. It's still a big, well-known movie, isn't it? It's not like it's old hat, even though it's from back in the early 80s. The exterior is near Bullith, Wales. Oh, Crickadarn. Crickadarn. Is that how you say? Crickadarn. I'd like to go there. I think I've told you this already, haven't I? I was going to do a book where I cycled to UK horror film locations, and Slaughtered Lamb in Crickardarn, near Bulleth, Wales, was going to be one of them. It was going to be called the Horror Cycle. You can have that idea if you pay me some royalties, because I don't think I want to do it. It's a bit of a chore, isn't it? Cycling. Because it was going to go... I'd routed out a map and everything, and probably find it if you're interested. Are you interested? If we look on an old... bear with. Let's go on to an old hard drive here. Horror... Do you think I did it as 2 words or 1 word? Horus, this is getting boring again. He's doing it again, everyone. Turned off. Off. I'm not listening to him anymore. It won't. It's frozen on Horror C. Horror Cycle. The Horror Cycle. The Horror Cycle. Here's the folder. And here's the map. Let's see where we was gonna go. It's just loading up. I hope. It's coming off this old hard drive here. External hard drive, I mean. Oh, there's the victim. After just a lovely stroll on the moors. Stroll! And then, Jack's got eaten. And then there's a man there. Hey, but I thought it was a werewolf. And then suddenly a man. Yeah, so... looks like I screenshotted the route, I think. Yeah, I have there. 766 miles it was going to be. I'm not sure. Oh, I think this was the route. So, yeah, starting from here. Then it was straight to American Werewolf. Over to... Is that Oundle? For Woman in Black. Then into Derbyshire area. Wolfman. Right. And then into the areas from the Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. Onto a little bit of Manchester where that... Frankenstein, was it Victor Frankenstein? I believe some of that was shot there. And then way across the country to Whitby for Dracula. I think it was one of the... Apparently the first Universal film claims to... It has Whitby in its locations list. I don't know exactly if that's true or not. But certainly there was the TV... Dracula, which was, I can't remember, it was 1979. Oh, I don't know. Leave me alone. I don't know all these facts. Stop staring at me like that. And then over to somewhere Lake District-y, was that, for 28 days later, before going over there a long way to Scotland, Dumfries, Isle of Whithorn for the Wicker Man. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was 8 locations, only 8 locations, and a 60. It says here 68 hours. So that's not very long, is it? Well, if you're doing it continuously. Anyway, I'm absolutely gone off on a tangent here, which I didn't intend to, but that's how this show works, isn't it? That's the format. That's the style. For the answers. Sorry for that scooching noise. So the opening 5. The composer was Elmer Bernstein. Just actually watching that bit now, one of the dreams, nightmares. He's going through those woods. Don't know where these woods were. Probably, no, maybe. I was thinking of those woods where they film everything. Is it near Pinewood Studios? I forget the name, but you know what I mean, don't you? You're a film buff if you're listening to this. You know what I mean. I don't have to say it, do I? I don't have to research. The advice the locals, David and Jack, neglect to follow was, of course, stay on the road, keep clear of the moors. And 3, the rock band was Creedence Clearwater Revival, who I just performed at the beginning there. And which part of the UK? Of course, it's England, as the Yorkshire Moors. Sorry. I'm wrong here. In which part of the UK were the opening exterior scenes of the Yorkshire Moors filmed? Right. Yeah, sorry. I've got muddled up, haven't I? Because they were supposed to be the Yorkshire Moors in the film, but they didn't use that. It was Wales. The exterior scenes of East Proctor were also filmed in Wales. The interior of the slaughtered lamb, however, was filmed in the Black Swan in Surrey, England. I've already kind of covered that, didn't I? So yeah, it was Wales the answer, not England, as I thought, because I've read my own question wrong. And the song that plays when David transforms for the first time is Blue Moon, performed by Sam Cooke. Blue Moon. Right, so there's the opening 5 questions. It's going to do a little bit of trivia now for you. I was just going to mention, of course. No, I'm not going to do that. I've also got a standalone American Werewolf in London quiz book, which we might look at some of the difficult ones. Although this won't be difficult anymore. The first one. What is the name of the real pub in which the interior scenes of the slaughtered lamb were filmed? We all know that now, don't we? Or have you forgot? I have. Did I say Black Swan? Yeah, Black Swan. What is the name of the hospital that Alex and Dr. Hirsch work at? Is it St. Hugh's, St. Andrews, St. Martin's, or St. Vincent's? Anybody know that? It's St. Martin's, which was filmed at Chiswick Maternity Hospital and Princess Beatrice House in London. What I was going to do was, because I think I've already told you in a previous episode that one time John Landis bought the American Werewolf in London quiz book from Etsy. I'll tell you a little bit again that I didn't believe it at first, because it shows you the buyer's name on Etsy, and there it was, John Landis, and I thought, no, surely not. And then I found Googled the address ultimately, and sure enough, it was the actual John Landis. I've got his full address here if you want it. No, I won't read it out. But I sent him a letter which I've just brung up. It's brought up really on the screen here. And I said to John, I had to do a double take when I saw the name that I was sending a signed copy of my American Werewolf in London quiz book to. My first thought was, surely this is the wrong way around. It should be you signing the book for me. Oh, we had a laugh, me and John, over the post. And yeah, so I just, told him, waxed lyrical about how fabulous he is. And he sent me a reply, which I don't think I've ever read it all out. It's containing this secret box here, which I'll just here it is. It's a blue letter. He's got his address on the back there. So from a P.O. box in Beverly Hills, California, 90210. Can you hear it? Can you hear John's letter? Just oh, it's not I thought it folded out. It's got a little at the top, like a kind of a devil-looking thing, with in red, like a watermark type thing, with John Landis in red underneath. It's dated the 2nd. Oh, don't they have their dates the wrong way around? So it's 2/11/2019. So is that like February the 11th? Possibly. Dear Killian, thank you for your insane American Werewolf in London unauthorised quiz book. I now see it was one of a series of quiz books for the obsessive horror fan. Do you recognise that quote that I use on everything now? Books for the I've paraphrased him there, haven't I? Naughty me. But the words are there. Just edited them. Sorry. I'm surprised that no one has thought of this before, but you are doing an excellent job. Keep writing. And I wish you great success in everything you do. Best always, John Landis. There you go. I'll put that back in its envelope. And into the box. Never to see the light of day ever again. It's a funny voice. Never to see the light of day ever again. How much is Harry and Judy's cab fare to Sean's house? Anyone? £1.50, £2.50, £3.50, £4.50. Anyone? It's £1.50. These are some of the difficult ones. The howlingly difficult ones from the American Werewolf in London quiz book, which was all the way back in collection number 2. This is mini horror quiz number 2 from 2018, a couple of years back now. Of course, we're in 2021 now. So yeah, there we go. Buy it, like John did. I was gonna scooch on to a bit of trivia here for you. A bit of lovely trivia. Just have a bit of this tea while it's still warm. Ooh. That's it. I've had all the tea now. You won't have to listen to any more tea drinking. Right, so Incredible Horror Movie Facts Part 2 we're looking at. Writer and director John Landis got the idea for an American Werewolf in London whilst he was working on Kelly's Heroes in Yugoslavia in 1969. He was astounded when he witnessed a rather strange funeral taking place amongst a gypsy community. A Greek Orthodox priest led the ceremony as the corpse, wrapped in a canvas shroud, covered with garlands of garlic and rosaries, was placed feet first into a very deep grave. These gypsies thought that this dead guy could climb out of his grave and cause trouble. Landis started thinking about how humankind had just landed on the moon, and yet here was a group of people worried that the dead were about to return from the grave. The juxtaposing thoughts conjured a premise in his head. How does a thinking, educated, sophisticated person deal with the fantastic, with something that you know is untrue when you're confronted and still affected by it? The film is about how one deals with powers beyond their control, powers of the universe, mysteries, and belief systems. In other words, he wanted to take an absurd and horrifying situation and see how a regular guy would deal with it rationally. And thus was born the fabulous American Werewolf in London. John Landis wrote a draft of a sequel to An American Werewolf in London in 1991, which sadly never ended up going into production. The script centred around Debbie Klein, the girl whom Jack says he's in love with in An American Werewolf in London, travelling to London to investigate the events from the first movie. It featured all of the characters from the original movie, including all of the dead ones. David was also set to feature as one of the undead. Sadly, the studio hated Landis' script, which is a shame because it sounds pretty awesome. Which is true. What was the year of that? What year? Was it 91, I said? 91. So, yeah, it would have been out maybe 93, if it had been greenlit, 1993. I think by now we'd have, even if we didn't like it at the time, I think now we'd be looking back at it as a classic, as we tend to do, don't we? It's true, though, isn't it? You know, some of these films like Sleepwalkers. I remember when Stephen King's Sleepwalkers came out. And, you know, it wasn't like everybody sort of like had a reaction, you know, it's like, it's got that good morphing bit. But there's this moment, with the, David in the bed in the woods. Jesus Christ! It's still haunting. I remember when I was a kid and I permanently mentally scarred a school friend of mine. Called Steve. He was called Stephen Park. Let's use a pseudonym to protect his identity. Let's say Kenneth Murr. Kenneth. I remember Kenneth. He was round, and I put American Werewolf on, and it was that scene in the woods. And I ran out of the room and left him there as that moment happened. I can't remember the aftermath of that. I think he was scared. As you would be. I don't remember. I don't remember the next bit. I've mentally blocked it. Maybe it's too traumatic for both of us. Anyway, Kenneth, give me a call if you're out there listening to this show. He probably died quite early of a heart condition brought on by early childhood trauma. I shouldn't make light of something like that. I'm terribly sorry. It's my bloody mind. It's gone. Right, so I've done that thing again, you know, where I've taken out the... Oh, no, I've not. I'm going to do the next 10 questions, and then we've got an interview with not somebody from An American Werewolf in London, because I don't think I've got anybody I did have a scour through the Scary Movie interview book. Couldn't find anybody. I probably did approach David Norton or somebody, or maybe even John Landis. I've got a list at the end of acknowledgements, and pretty much all the people named there got back to me in some way, but declined to take part. Debbie declined to take part. I can't see his name. Sorry, I'm just looking at Andrew. Oh yeah, we know about him. One of the Leatherfaces. Who Richard Chismar? He's that guy that works with Stephen King, isn't he? He's there no. Harry Bromley Devonport. He say no. Mark Patton said no, and so did Derek Mayers. And William Butler. Oh, William, why did you... Rachel Talalay. And Jonathan Tiersten. He said no. Why am I naming and shaming people? That's terrible of me. All you people said no to me. Why did you do that? Sorry, we could do the next 10. Next 10 questions, here they are. Number 6. Which film director and Muppets performer appears in the movie as Mr. Collins from the American Embassy? 7. Set. Which character says the line, have you ever... Oh, here we go. We've a talk to a corpse. It's boring. Which book does Alex read to... That's a line I say quite a lot. Just in public. Which book does Alex read to David whilst he is in the hospital in London? And number 9. After seeing An American Werewolf in London, which pop star loved the movie so much that he hired a number of the key production members to work on a music video inspired by it? And number 10. True or false? The pornographic film that David watches at the cinema is called See You Next Saturday. I'm sure if you're a fan of the movie, you know that that's not true. Oh, no. Oh, there's the bit where Nurse Alex opens the curtains and there's one of those horrible Nazi things. They got a name, haven't they? I've forgotten it. That I still remember that. It's one of these as well. It's just a brilliant film, isn't it? Through and through. There's the guy bringing David his breakfast. Even like that character, I like everything about it. All got food, you eat it up. Oops, computer's going off. Yeah. What am I doing? Should we do the... I've got a little bit more trivia, and then we'll have an interview. The scene in which David and Jack are attacked on the moors was actually filmed on the grounds of Windsor Castle in Windsor Great Park. Trivia over there. Oh no, that next one just would give away the one of the questions I've just read out. So I can't do that. So we are going to... Oh, right, no. One thing I was going to do, right? I was looking through my old stories, and because I wanted to maybe read a bit of fiction out, and I couldn't think of anything where I'd written about a werewolf apart from one time, and I don't know what this story was intended for. I really can't think what it was, but it's called the werewolf's tooth. Here we go. The small jar containing the werewolf's tooth was found in the storage cellar of a small museum in Bakersfield by Marshall Holmes on the first day of his summer job. Whilst the other kids in town were out riding their bikes, kissing girls, going to the movies, and experiencing a bunch of other cliches, Marshall would be sweeping floors, showing people around, answering the telephone, and enduring a bunch of other mundane, though lucrative, chores. By the end of the summer, he'd have enough fun to start looking around for his first car. It'd be a beat-up, rusty old, temperamental beastie, but at least he'd have a big old chunk of metal to call his own. Marshall had been tasked with tidying the cellar by the museum's curator, Henry Fenton, who had run the place for nearly 50 years and knew everything there was to know about each and every exhibit, artifact, painting and treasure the little, though brimful, building held. Nothing had ever been thrown away over the years. Somehow Henry always found a place for everything. There was hardly an abundance of new items flooding into the museum, but every now and then people would bring in or send interesting items through the post. Most of the time they'd end up on display, but other times, particularly if Henry was temporarily absent, they would get thrown into a drawer or cupboard in the cellar. Henry would eventually get around to rediscovering them, most of them. The dark, cluttered room was long overdue a clean-up, and Marshall's keenness for summer work brought the perfect opportunity for such a task. Henry was beyond such a task these days, preferring to sit in the kiosk at the front of the museum, to welcome the visitors in and answer the many questions. The quizzical deployed. Boom, and it just ends there. That's all I wrote. So if you'd like to me to finish that story, please write in on a postcard, as usual, to Killian Gore Towers, Warrington Werewolf Society. Right. Where on earth were we up to? Does anybody remember? I've done that. Oh, right, I was going to talk about a movie I've just seen, yeah. And while it's a werewolf movie, it's particularly apt. Late Phases, which I've got the box here from 101 Films, released this one last year in a lovely shiny Blu-ray. And it's heralds it on the back here as a modern masterpiece of the werewolf genre. Yeah, it's very good. It's a 2014 film as well, and I hadn't seen it until bit of plastic on it, until bit of mundane information there for you. I hadn't seen it until they brought it out, and I enjoyed it immensely. Good old use of practical effects. You can't beat it, can you? And it's just a great story with the blind guy. You really sort of felt that fear. Adding that kind of a character who can't see, and then bringing into the mix werewolves. The unknown when you're in a kind of unknown to begin with. You can't. I'm not to diss blind people in any way, but it must be a scary thing to not be able to see, and then to add into that werewolves. It's bloody terrifying, and that it got that across. Incredibly well with some top-notch practical effects. I particularly like the transformation because I don't think I've ever seen one done like that. I guess maybe that was their concept. Let's just do one like nobody's done before. So he's kind of ripping off his own skin as he turned into a werewolf, which I thought was brilliant. Well done to Late Phases. Great work. Now I'm completely lost. One thing. I'll do that in a bit. The next bit. Why am I putting a cross there? I've done it. We've done that. We've not done that. Did I do the answers to the next? Let's do the answers. The Muppets performer was, of course, Frank Oz, Yoda himself. And who says, "You ever talk to a corpse? It's boring." Well, there's, of course, Jack, played by Griffin Dunne. And number 8, the book that Alex reads is A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. And after seeing American Werewolf, which pop star? Yeah, of course, Michael Jackson for his Thriller video, who used John Landis, the director, Robert Painter, cinematographer, Elmer Bernstein, music, Deborah Noodleman, costumes, and Rick Baker, makeup effects, all from An American Werewolf in London. That was a bit of trivia. After Michael Jackson saw the movie, he fell in love with it so much that he hired director John Landis and special makeup effects artist Rick Baker to work on his Thriller video. There's nothing new in only 2 of the jackets were ever made for the now iconic video, one of which recently sold at auction for $1.8 million. Deborah Landis is also notable for creating the fedora and jacket for Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I chose to say Deborah Landis there to avoid saying her Nadelman name. I've just done it again. Not avoided it at all, have I? And number 10... Yes, it's false. It's not see you next Saturday. It is, of course, see you next Wednesday. The phrase being a running gag seen throughout a lot of John Landis's movies. I believe it has its origins in 2001, doesn't it? Yeah, here we go. A running joke in the films of John Landis. Featured in Landis's horror movies American Werewolf in London as the name of a porno film, Twilight Zone the movie as a line of dialogue spoken in German, Innocent Blood written on a marquee, and in Michael Jackson's Thriller video, spoken in the cinema, and on the posters outside the theatre. It originates from a line in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. We may as well, while we're in the horror movie manual, do Werewolf. The name of a shape-shifting creature that flirts between human and wolf-like beast. No, we won't do that. We'll do that in the werewolf episode. And that one. Let's leave that one. But we will do Moon, the big round thing in the sky that can induce craziness in people when it's fully exposed. In most werewolf movies, it also heralds the transformation from human into wolfman. Moors, keep off them. Probably best to stick to the roads if you're backpacking in Yorkshire. Slaughtered lamb, a public house in the Yorkshire moors where the locals are likely to completely stop what they're doing and stare at you when you walk through the door. Done. Any more? No. That's the horror movie manual. Right, what we're going to do, ladies and gents, we're going to do the next batch of questions, and then we're going to bring in a special guest who's done a werewolf movie, but not American Werewolf in London, because I ain't got anyone from that, as I already explained to the lady at the beginning. Right, number 11, who has recently announced that he wants to direct a remake of An American Werewolf in London. 12, which actress plays Nurse Alex Price in American Werewolf in London. 13, what does David take from a young boy at London Zoo? Anyone? You at the back? You got it? Very good. 14. Which drink does Dr. Hirsch order when he's in the Slaughtered Lamb pub in East Proctor, after being told they don't have his first choice? And 15. After stalking Gerald Bringsley through the London Underground, where exactly does the werewolf eventually kill him? 16. How is David made aware that 6 people have been killed in London overnight, arising his suspicions that he may be the man, or wolf, responsible? 17. When David is attempting to get himself arrested in Trafalgar Square, which member of the royal family does he claim as a man? 18. When Jack visits David at Alex's flat and at the cinema, what does he tell him he has to do? 19. Who shoots and kills the werewolf at the end of the movie? And our final question! What is the name of the 1997 sequel to An American Werewolf in London? Anyone? You got it? Right. We will get those answers in a little bit. It just reminded me, I had a thought when I was doing that and it's gone. Bloody gone. But one thing, I remember I went to see American Werewolf in London on the big screen as part of a local movie club which vanished soon thereafter. He's actually on the back of the Huge Horror Movie Quiz book. Where is he there? Mr. Red, Retro Horror Movies Warrington, who said, the perfect addition to your retro horror movie collection makes watching the classics that more exciting. Brilliant. Yeah, he started the club where he's showing like classic cult horror movies at on the Odeon screen. I think it was Widnes. And I went to see American Werewolf, and it's just amazing watching it on the big screen. Better than watching a new movie. You know, you just felt like watching it for the first time in a way. Really good seeing it in a cinema like that, and I'm glad I have. So that's that bit of boring trivia out of the way. Let's move on to our interview. There was one, like I said, there's one thing that popped into my head, and it's gone. It's going to bug me that. I won't be able to concentrate from now on. Anyway, please welcome he was involved with bloody hell. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's the thing I've not mentioned. Yeah, I was going to do a bit of true crime because there was the serial killer who was, even though he's referred to here on Murderpedia as the Wednesday murderer, it's Mikhail Popkov, who was a policeman in Russia, killed quite a lot there. 29 plus it says here, but yeah, his nickname was the Werewolf. So that was trying to fill my ex-policeman nicknamed Werewolf confesses to murdering 24 women in Siberia. Yeah, I just wanted to fill out the true crime quota. You know what I'm like. Gotta get it in there, haven't I? So yeah, he's still alive there. Oh, he's only apprehended in 2012. He's 56 now. The Werewolf, a Russian serial killer. Blimey, 78 women. It says 78. It's got that wrong on Murderpedia. 83 plus confess. Good lord. He's a monster. I don't know why he's... the werewolf. I think the werewolf is just because of the brutal nature, I think. I don't think there's anything more specific. I don't think he wore a werewolf mask or anything. He killed women with instruments including knives, axes, baseball bats, and screwdrivers, and mutilated the bodies so grotesquely that Russian media ascribed the crimes to the werewolf. Good lord. Scary chap. He won't be getting out, even though I think he wants to get out. Good lord. Scary, eh? Anyway, James D.R. Hickox, who was involved with the film Waxwork and Waxwork 2 Lost in Time, which of course have a werewolf in them. So that counts, doesn't it? He's Anthony Hickox's brother, who I think directed them. Let's just have a look. Oh, that's the thing that popped into my head. I haven't done the bad reviews, which I was going to just do for American Werewolf. I just jotted that down, even though we're hugely running out of time. I've lost it. I lost it today. What was I looking up? Oh dear lord. Oh yeah, sorry. Waxwork. Oh god. 1998. Yeah, I think it's directed by Anthony, but James. This has gone awfully wrong. Yeah, directed by Anthony, who's his brother, but James. James, you did something, didn't you, James? You're here for a bloody interview. I know you're involved. I think he was second unit. Was he second unit director or something? I am Dario Gento. It's dedicated to Waxwork. Joe Dante and Douglas Hickox and John Landis, Robert Pekina, I don't know you, George A. Romero, Spielberg and Orson Welles. You dedicated the movie to an awful lot of people, didn't they? I thought you only did that when he was dead. No, you don't, do you? Anthony Hickox, hopefully it will... son of Douglas Hickox, brother of James. Here's James. James... he was a first assistant editor on Waxwork, and he played the werewolf killer's assistant. Okay, that's even better, isn't it? That's a stronger link. I'm waffling. Did he edit it? No, he didn't. Second unit? No. Additional crew? No. Anyway, let's crack on with the interview. I think he's from London. All right, okay, we'll do London for you then, James. What's your favourite scary movie, James? An almost impossible question. But if I had to pick two that just rise to the top, it would be The Others or The Conjuring. And who's your favourite horror movie director? David Cronenberg. Just makes it above Raimi and Argento. And your favourite type, subgenre of horror movie? Supernatural. And your favourite bad horror movie? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I wouldn't say it's a bad horror movie, James. Would you? Thinking about it again? Did you get the question? He can't answer for himself. I can only read what he's written down here. But yeah, that's a weird choice. It's not a bad horror movie. I don't think he understood what I meant there. What would be your favourite horror double feature drive-in choice? The Evil Dead and Ringu. Nice. And your favourite horror movie killer? Freddy Krueger or Chucky. And your favourite horror movie creature monster? Tough. Probably Pinhead. And what's your favourite horror movie franchise? Paranormal Activity. It has been the most enduring and consistently scary. Nah, I don't agree with you there. What's your favourite horror movie sequel? Children of the Corn 3. Urban Harvest, of course. If you don't know, James directed that. What's your favourite horror movie remake? Carpenter's The Thing. And your favourite horror television show? Tales from the Crypt or Scooby-Doo? Nice, James. Like the Scooby-Doo reference. Thanks. What's your favourite zombie movie? Night of the Living Dead. 1968. Yeah, I know what year it's from. Yeah, just in case you were confusing it with a remake. Remakes, sorry. No, I wasn't, because I can see it. I'm reading it out. It says it here, 1968. What has been your favourite Halloween costume? I went as a serial killer one year where I stuck a knife through a box of Lucky Charms. There you go. Go now, James. Thank you. Off he goes. Dreadful serial killer joke there with serial food. Don't you hate that joke? You know, I'm a serial killer. I eat 12 bowls of Rice Krispies in the morning. Oh, anyway, the the answers to the final 10 there are number 11, the remake was American Werewolf. Sorry, the remake. He wanted to direct the remake. It's Max Landis, John Landis's rather shamed son. He has a hard time of things in the press, hasn't he? I don't know what the outcome of that is. Let's not dwell upon that in case anyone's listening. Number 12. Which actress plays Nurse Alex? It's, of course, Jenny Agutter. And number 13, what does David take from the boy in the zoo? It's, of course, some balloons. A naked American man stole my balloons. No, he does a really flat delivery, doesn't he? A naked American man stole my balloons. No, it's worse than that, actually. A naked American man stole my balloons. Once more with feeling? No, I'm done. I thought it'd be fun being in a movie. It's bloody boring, just repeating the same lines. Naked American. Which drink does Dr. Hirsch initially order? It's a small Guinness. What? No, which drink does he... Oh, yeah, sorry. After he's told that they don't have his first choice. I can't remember. What was his first choice? That's another question, eh? Like a gin and tonic or something? Or no, it's weirder than that. Oh, the scene is actually about to... or has it just been on? What does he ask for? Something like, I'm sorry. I got really bored. Here he is, coming in. I think I'm allowed a tiny bit of audio, aren't I? There's, of course, Rick Mail. Here we go. Campari and soda. No wonder I didn't remember that. What the hell's a Campari and soda? Anyway, he got his small Guinness will suffice. And that was the bit of trivia that I was going to tell you. In a sec, I just had to write that down. This show's gone bad for. It's getting worse in 2021, isn't it? It's gone downhill. Down a hill, further down the hill, right at the bottom. Crashed. After stalking Gerald through London Underground, he kills him on the escalator, of course. Run out of steam a bit, didn't I, there? There was a lull. If you like lulls, though, do tune into the next episode, where I will be sure to put plenty more lulls in. When in Trafalgar... No, how is David made aware... 6 people have been killed. A taxi driver tells him. Sorry. When attempting to get himself arrested, who did he say is a man? Queen Elizabeth is a man! Says, and that's true, she is a man. It's little known, but in the royal family, if you're in the inner circles, it's quite well known amongst the waiters and the butlers and the cleaning staff of Buckingham Palace that she is actually a man. There you go. That's not true. I'm sorry. When Jack visits David at the cinema, what's he telling him he got to do? Kill himself. Who shoots and kills David at the end? It's the police. And the sequel is, of course, An American Werewolf in Paris, which I do believe mentioned. There's all the questions. The thing I was going to tell you, I just remembered. Right. Okay, so in my in the horror movie Massacre, this is a little bit of naughty trivia for you that you'll only get if you're listening to this show right now. But in every chapter of the horror movie Massacre, there is a name, somebody's name, who will then, the character's name will be from the next. Sorry, I'm just explaining it so badly. There's always a name in the horror movie Massacre somewhere, and that name will be a character's name from the movie of what will be the next mini horror quiz book. That was so badly described. So yeah, in every single one. Okay, say for example, the first one was The Burning, right? So there's the character name was Villiers' name, Villiers McManus. He's my main guy in the horror movie Massacre. So he was first named in The Burning, and his name is obviously derives from An American Werewolf in London. It's the 2 police guys, detectives. I waffled. That's just awful podcasting, isn't it? That's probably the worst bit of podcasting ever. I wouldn't even say that I've ever done, just ever. It's dreadful. If you can decipher what I was trying to say there, though, it's quite interesting. I won't elaborate. I just want to end on some of the bad reviews. Because we're not done that yet. Let's do a 1-star review of An American Werewolf in London. How many has he got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got a lot more. Oh, not that many. About 6 or 7. Quadrophilia 69524. I watched this film when I was young and I liked it, but when watching it reasonably, I think he means recently, I thought, oh, how much garbage this film really is. The acting was wooden. Good grammar. No punctuation at all. It's just one long sentence. It doesn't even have a full stop at the end. Bloody hell. You shouldn't let people like that write a review, should they? Surely you need some sort of qualifications. Oh, wow, after half an hour I turned off this piece of utter pig swill. I got the video from a charity shop for £1, and this morning it's going straight back. Wow, some of the people. Could have been worse. They could have used sock puppets, says Rides Upon Dragons. What can be said about American Werewolf in London? First of all, the actors cannot do what their name implies. No, I think you mean what their profession implies. There would be far more emotion if they were cardboard stick figures with speech bubbles. Here we go. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. This is one of those rare movies that happens to be atmospheric, witty and scary all at once, without any compromise. The cast was very appropriate. My favourite character was definitely the Doctor, whose ice-cold demeanour was very effective. My favourite scene, the first attack on the Ignis Moors. Talk about atmosphere, 1 out of 10. What the hell, Spectres? He's called Spectres. And I think he probably meant to put 10 and put 1. Anyway, on that little bit of stupidity, we're going to say goodbye from me, Killian Gore. You've been listening to the Huge Horror Movie Podcast. Please like, follow, subscribe, and do whatever you can. And I'll see you on the next one.